Hello, algebra students. Mr. Laurence here, and we're going to be learning about the laws of exponents. Now, instead of just telling you the laws and making you memorize them, which would be quite boring, I know, Mr. Belkoff's a great history teacher, and he doesn't just give you a whole bunch of stuff to say memorize it, right? He gets you involved and interacting, and that's what I'm going to try to do here in algebra. All right. So, let's see what we know. Part of this will be review. Part of it will be new. But if you always think about what it means, you should be okay. All right. Excuse me. So let's try problem A. Why don't you pause problem A and do problem A and problem B. Multiply, okay, and see what you come up with. And when you're ready, unpause the video, and then you can see my solutions. Don't mind me. I'll just have a little Coke Zero while you're doing your problem. All right, I'm cool and refreshed. Hopefully you're ready to see my solutions. Again, if you haven't tried it on your own, please pause the video, try it on your own, and then come back to me. All right, here comes my solution. All right, first I'm going to multiply. I've got 3x to the 4th times 4x to the 5th. First I'm going to multiply the coefficients, 3 and 4, and get 12. And then I'm going to multiply x to the 4th by x to the 5th. Now, some of you are trying to memorize rules, and there are shortcuts to this, but they're dangerous because you can't remember them all. So always ask yourself what this means. X to the 4th means x times x times x times x, right? And x to the 5th means x times x times x times x times x. I don't like to do it this way, but you can't see my fingers right now. Normally I'd be holding up 4 fingers on one hand, 5 fingers on another, and I'd ask how many x's are being multiplied together. And if you could see my fingers, you quickly say 9, and you'd be correct. And so instead of saying all those x's multiplied, I'll just say x to the 9th power. There you go. Now, on B, I'm going to multiply the coefficients. Okay, I got 2 times 8 times 3, which I believe is 48, right? By the way, I didn't go 2 times 8 times 3. I thought that would be harder. I did 2 times 3 times 8. How do you suppose I did that? Jonathan knows. Yeah, that's right, Jonathan. I used the commutative property, of course. Very powerful. Now, for the x's, you got to be careful. There's an x to the 1st, and an x cubed, and an x to the 4th. Oh, that's not an x, Mr. Laurence. Go back to kindergarten, learn your variables. Ah, it's not a y anymore either. Oh dear. Let's make it a y again. There we go. Okay, so, and there's an x squared there. So I've got an x to the 1st times x cubed times x second. So there's one x. There's 3 more x's being multiplied, so I'm up to 4 x's being multiplied, and there's 2 more, so I must have an x to the 6th. Now for the y's, it's the same thing. I've got 6 y's being multiplied, I've got 1 y being multiplied, and I've got 4 more y's being multiplied. I must have y to the 11th. And here for the z's, let me change their color. Oh, let's go with orange. All right, so I've got z cubed, I've got 3 z's being multiplied, z times z times z. Z to the 5th. There's 5 z's, so there's 8 z's being multiplied, and then there's 1 more z, so there's 9 z's being multiplied. All right, there you go. Now, you can't solve this because it's not an equation. We're just simplifying. We're just multiplying these quantities. Now, it gets a little bit different here when I have to do a problem like the quantity of 2x to the 4th cubed. Now, first of all, you will not call this a distribution problem. This is not a distribution problem. No, it is not distribution. No! 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 Did you hear that? We are not distributing. You don't distribute an exponent. What I need you to do is ask yourself, what does this 3 mean? Doesn't it mean that there are 1, 2, 3 of those? Isn't that what it means? Right? So, I can do 2 times 2 times 2, and I'll get 8. And then I can do x to the 4th times x to the 4th times x to the 4th. How many x's are being multiplied? Oh, there are 12. Okay, now some of you may have noticed a shortcut right there. Oops, sorry about that. Get out of there. Hold on one second. Let me close my email so nothing private pops up. All right, very good. You may have noticed a shortcut there, but if you don't see it, that's okay. I will point it out to you at some point, but don't rely on shortcuts. Okay, so let's see here. Oh no, I should go down to D first. I've got a 4x squared. Well, doesn't that mean 4? Ah, you've not been cloned. Oh dear, I need to clone you. All right, let's go. 4x times a 4x, right? So if I do 4 times 4, I get 16, and x times x, I get x squared. Huh. Wonder if any of you see that shortcut now. All right, let's go on to problem E. I'm going to take this quantity times itself. Uh-oh, I'm running out of room. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Make more room. Okay, there's another one. And there is another one. Uh-oh, we can't see it. Can I scroll over? Let's see, what can I do here? No, apparently I can't scroll right. I'll just have to make myself some more room. Alright, so we have these 4 quantities being multiplied together, right? Oh dear. I'm having quite the problem here, but that's okay. Alright, we will figure it out. There we go. Oh, wrong one. Okay, this is getting really confusing, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase all the other stuff that I don't need here. Alright, I'm going to get rid of all this. Oops, didn't want to get rid of that. Oh, let's try that again. Too big. There we go. And I'm going to move this answer here. What did it equal? 8x to the 12th, I believe. Okay. And so now it's a little bit better, a little more manageable. So I'm going to multiply all the 3's together. And by the way, I'm going to go 3 times 3 is 9. And then 3 times 3 is 9. And 9 times 9 is 81. All right, now an x squared times an x squared times an x squared times an x squared. Looks like I'm up to x to the 8th. X to the 8th. Maybe I should write it up here. 81 x to the 8th. All right, now I'm going to multiply y times y times y times y. That would be a y to the 4th, wouldn't it? Right? And then z to the 5th times c to the 5th times c to the 5th. I think I'm going to have a z to the 20th. Right? Uh-oh. Danger, Will Robinson. Z to the 20th. There we go. Snuck it in there. Okay. So, uh-oh, this one's going to get real long. Let me make some room for it. Because it's to the 8th power. And so let me move this 16x squared up here. Let me give an equal sign. All right, I'm going to kind of box it off here. So, I have 8 of these. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 beautiful quantities. Sorry, I do a better Kermit than I do a count, but I try. All right, so I'm going to multiply all those 2's together. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. 256. All right, let's do x to the 5th. Oh, look at all those x to the 5's. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, right? X to the 40th. All right, let's do the y's. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. Y to the 32nd. And then finally my z's. 3, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. I want to sing the rest of the song. All right, anyway. So there we go. Now, if you didn't notice anything, check this out. This is kind of crazy, all right? This only works when we have a power raised to a power. Notice we got a 40 here. See that 40? And what do we got there? A 5 and an 8. Hey, what's 5 times 8? 40. Dun, dun, dun. And here we have a 4 and an 8. And it turned out to be 32, didn't it? Yeah. And then 3 times 8 is 24. When a power is raised to a power, all you do is multiply the exponents. So let's do a simple one here. Let's do a simple one, see if we can try that out. All right, let's go with 3x squared, and we're going to raise that to the third power. Okay, well, we're going to need a 3 cubed, which is going to be 27, and then we're going to need an x squared. We're going to need 3 of them. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, 27x to the 6th. So I multiplied 2 times 3, and I got 6. See how that worked? All right, so here's going to be 2 for you to do, and this is going to be your video quiz here. Let me put it on here, video quiz, not like the veto quiz I had the other day. The video quiz. All right, let's do 2 problems. Okay, and let's go with 2x to the 5th, and we'll raise that to the 4th power. And then your second problem will be a 3x to the 2nd y is e cubed, and we're going to raise that to the 5th power. Okay, so that's your video quiz to do those 2 problems. You don't have to use the shortcut. The shortcut is a good idea, but it certainly gets long. Like if I put 15th power here, you certainly don't want to write all that out. All right, that's it for this video. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good weekend, everybody.